We came here to create movements, to create waves on humanity. And in order to do that, we have to step out of our comfort zone. We are not changing the world from our bed. We are not changing the world from our comfort zone. All right, beautiful soul, welcome back to this week's episode of the You Unlimited podcast. I am Christina Deering, and I am so grateful that you are here in the space. You are magnetized into this episode because there is undoubtedly a golden nugget here for you that is going to help you jump from where you're at right now to where you want to go. So today we're going to be talking about imposter syndrome. We're also going to be talking about this idea of I need to know all the things before I can do the thing. Let's just dig right into it. I can't tell you how many people feel like, who am I to do that thing? I don't know enough. All of this internal dialogue that's coming through that's not serving us. I'm raising my hand, myself included. When we're stepping to our next level, there will always be that internal dialogue that's going to say, you're not ready for that. Who are you to do that? No. Just stay comfortable. No, don't do it. Or it might sound a lot more frantic than that, but essentially your ego is just trying to keep you safe. And we can love on her or him and basically say like, I love you. Thank you for coming. And let's dig into this even further because your ego is just trying to keep you safe. That is quite literally your ego's only job. I would like to keep you alive. So I'm going to tell you all the things. I'm going to scan for all the things that might be a problem. I'm going to be on hyper alert and I'm going to be making shit up as we go so that you can kind of rehearse worst case scenario and make sure that that doesn't happen. And the way that we definitely make sure it doesn't happen is by you just not doing the damn thing. But here's the thing. We came here to expand. We came here to create movements, to create waves on humanity. And in order to do that, we have to step out of our comfort zone. We are not changing the world from our bed. We are not changing the world from our comfort zone. We just aren't doing it. We have to change along with changing the world. It's required. So when we think about imposter syndrome, I think imposter syndrome is made up. Okay. And here's what I mean by that. Imposter syndrome is essentially not even real because what it's basically saying is I have to know how to do the thing before I can do the thing. I'm an imposter. I can't do that. I have to know how to do it before I can do the thing. Well, how the hell are you supposed to know how to do it if you haven't done the thing? Right? It's basically saying like I need to study it until I'm blue in the face before I'm allowed to do the thing, but even then I'm still doing it for the first time. So what it's essentially saying is imposter syndrome is not, it can't even be really a real thing because it's like a catch 22. If you're following with me, it is literally a catch 22. It's the chicken or the egg or the chicken, right? I have to know how to do the thing before I can do the thing, but I can't know how to do the thing until I do the thing. That makes no sense. So essentially what we're doing is basically like learning a foreign language. Like if you studied, let's say like Spanish in high school or college or whatever, you studied a foreign language, you can only take it so far, right? Like you can textbook, look, okay, like biblioteca, like we're, like the library, like we can study these, we can create flashcards, but until we are immersed in the culture, right? Until we are going to Barcelona or until we are going to Mexico, we are not going to really understand and embody that language until we're there, until we're fully immersed with it, until we're playing with the energetics of it. And so with that in mind, it's about starting to really calm the voice that's saying you have to know everything before you can do it. Because that would be like me telling myself, I have to know Spanish before I can go to Mexico. Why don't I just go there anyways? Like, it's okay. I can go there anyways. I can lay out. I can enjoy the tropical drinks. I can let myself, get into the ocean and all of these things. There's so much magic available for us, even when we don't know all the things, especially when we don't know all the things. And when we do it, we're actually carving the path to better understanding how to do the thing. Because I'm going to tell you something, more times than we even realize, our karma becomes our dharma. So the thing that you are having to carve a path through, because it's not easy, you're having to actually dig and carve and try new things and stumble and fall and learn and scrape your knees. You're carving this path to get to something. You're probably going to teach someone now how to do that thing. because it wasn't easy. And you're like, well, that sucked. I want to teach someone how to do it in an easier way. Like I really skinned my knees up in that. Like I was like in like a neck brace for a while. That wasn't pretty. What just happened? I would like to share that there's a pitfall over there so that someone else doesn't end up on a stretcher. You know what I mean? So it's like this idea of you are literally carving this path so that you can help someone more easily walk that journey or take a shortcut or maybe go down the ladder that you created because you were like, oh, actually, instead of trying to jump over that ledge, why don't we crawl down the ladder and crawl up this way? Because that's how I actually hurt myself, right? You've created a more foul proof plan, if you will, an easier way through for the other person. So that makes you the perfect person to learn from. Because I know so many people, my clients, myself included, that are like, I need to know more. Who am I to do that thing? I'm not far enough along, right? I was just coaching someone through, their health coach, and they were like, they were talking about how they stumble with their health often, where they're like, well, I'm talking about emotionally eating. And I feel bad because sometimes I stumble, I emotionally eat. And I'm trying to teach people how to not do that and all the pitfalls of it and all these things. And like, so I'm embarrassed because sometimes I do catch myself emotionally eating again. And I'm like, you are quite literally the perfect person to teach someone about emotional eating because of that reason. The person doesn't want to learn from the person that's never had that problem before because they've never had to work through it. They've never had the pitfalls of it. They've never understood what it felt like to fall again, to have the urges, to not know what's coming next, to have the fears around it, to question, am I going to do it again? And all the questions that we have, like, I don't want to learn from a person that has never had this problem before. Like, let that resonate for a second. You don't wanna learn, most likely, I'm assuming, from someone who's never done the thing before. Like, why would you wanna learn from someone on how to make money if they're a trust fund baby? You're like, "Great, good for you. I'm so glad you have access to all of this money and you did absolutely nothing but sit on your ass and get born." Like, what? Like, wow, I'm jealous, right? But it's like, no, but actually, you want to learn from someone who's like, here's how you become a multimillionaire by making a massive movement and wave on humanity. And I came from nothing, and here's what I did, and I stumbled on the way there, and all these things were happening that made me question whether or not I was good enough and whether or not I was qualified enough. But I chose to have the mental fortitude to break through that in order to get to the other side. And now here is what's come of it. Here's how I made the money. I want to learn from that person. I want to learn from the person that came from nothing, that stumbled all the way to the multi-millions, right? Because that's the journey that I'm walking. I want to learn from that person. I don't want to learn from the trust fund baby. So this is the thing that you have to ask yourself. You are basically sometimes saying, and I do this myself too. I'm like, oh, I need to have it perfect, or I need to not even have had that problem to be able to teach on it. If you didn't have that problem, I definitely don't want to learn from you because first of all, I might be a little embarrassed to tell you that I'm screwing up, right? Like if you're like, wait, I'm sorry, what? Like you did what? That's even a thing? Like, I would be, like, so embarrassed to be like, "I totally screwed this up," to a person that doesn't understand what screwing up feels like. Instead, I wanna talk to someone who's like, "Cool, I did that too, and here's exactly what happened," and they normalize screwing up. They normalize the fact that that happens. They normalize the fact that there are pitfalls as we lean into it. So with that, I want you to start giving yourself a break. First and foremost, thank your ego for showing up. Say thank you so much, ego, for showing up for me. I really appreciate it. And I'm going to keep moving forward because my karma is inevitably becoming my dharma. What I'm having to learn and move through is inevitably the thing that's going to make me the best teacher at the thing that I'm doing. And I don't have to have it perfect in order to teach on it. In fact, I won't have it perfect. And that's what makes me the perfect teacher for it because I won't have it perfect and I will continue to screw it up over and over again in a beautiful way. I think I remember hearing someone say like the only difference between like you and the person who has everything that you desire is essentially the fact that they were willing to screw it up many, many times over until they got to that outcome. It's like Thomas Edison, right? With the light bulb. It's like if he didn't try for the 1000th time, we wouldn't have light potentially. How strange is that? That like after Even 798, he's like, I think I'll try again. All right. After like 999, he's like, one more time. Like, wow, like the resilience of this guy. Like, if we can try on his resilience, imagine where that would take you. Now, my prayer is that it doesn't take you 1,000 times to get to where you want to go, which is exactly why we lean into mentors who have actually done the thing before, who have stumbled before, because I guarantee if someone else was like, well, I want to learn how to make light bulbs, they would go to Thomas Edison and be like, hey, bro, what did you do? And I want to do it on my first time or my third time instead, because you know how to do it. So he would carve a much shorter path for that person. And that's the power of leaning into mentors that have done the thing that you've done and they've done it imperfectly. They have screwed up along the way. And that is exactly what makes you the most potent mentor for all the things that you're doing, for all the things that you're sharing and building and giving into the collective, because you have forged a path that was difficult. You do have moments where you're questioning yourself because your client undoubtedly has moments where she's questioning herself. And you want to be able to hold the space for her when she's questioning herself. You want to be able to meet her and also invite her into the higher vision because you had to do that for yourself because you leaned into a mentor that did that as well. And that's the beauty of it. And so that in between space, that void before things come into fruition is so normal. And I want to normalize that experience. So you are 100% the perfect person for people to lean into. You know enough because you know a little bit more, at least, than your dream client does. That's the goal. Teach from something that you've embodied, right? The goal is not to be perfect. The goal is to teach something that you've done before, that you've embodied before. You've had to stumble your way through. That, I believe, makes the most potent teachers because I'm like, oh, you like really know what you're talking about. You've like actually walked this journey before. I want to learn from you, right? Like Amanda Francis, we want to learn from her about money. She's making millions of dollars, multiple millions of dollars. Like, and she stumbled. She's like, I came from nothing. She said she came, from absolutely nothing. Like, she's the perfect person to start to lean into when you want to learn about money and things of that nature, right? So that's the power of starting to really tune in to the mentors that have done it before. Is you want to also lean into a mentor for yourself that is willing and open and saying, hey guys, like, I did not come from this. It's so powerful. So with that, speaking of people that don't have it all figured out, and I want to normalize that for you, my diary is open for one more week. So if you have not joined the diary, the secret newsletter, that diary is closing this week. So this is pages from my diary of moments where I have stumbled more than I've ever stumbled before. My deepest and darkest moments in my life where I had to figure out how to crawl my way out of these spaces and get to the other side. These are things that I never thought I would say out loud. Something that ABC Live came to me and they said, hey, you know what? This story is actually really freaking crazy. Do you want to share it on the air? And I was like, oh, clenching my butt cheeks. Absolutely not. I really don't want to share it on the air. And essentially, I was like, okay, God, I see you. And the story isn't about me. So that is why I'm sharing it with you now. If you've not joined that secret newsletter, the diary, join that to start to normalize the fact that people who have successful businesses also really freaking stumble, also have really deep, dark moments, also question everything, including their existence. They question it all. Then I 10 and 10 recommend you joining in that space. I would love to have your energy in the space. My goal is that it normalizes what you're moving through. My goal is that you see this experience and realize I can have these moments, the hardest moments in my life, and still build the thing that I desire most. Because while I was going through these deep, dark moments, I still was building and scaling, and my business got to levels that I never thought it would get to before. So I want to normalize the fact that we won't have it all figured out. We will stumble. We will scrape our knees. We will question all the things. And that is my goal with this diary, is that you feel less alone, that you feel you could peek inside of the deepest parts of my soul that I honestly was like, I'm bringing this one to the grave. And then I thought, why? We're all human beings. Why would I bring this to the grave? That is such a disservice to humanity, to the people that I'm meant to serve, to you. It's such a disservice. I want to be honest with you. I want to be vulnerable with you. I want to be human with you. I didn't come here to have a perfect experience, and I didn't come here to declare that everything is perfect. Far from it. And so that is me opening up the pages, opening up my heart and my soul to share with you where I have stumbled farther than I ever thought I would ever stumble. And I want you to know me in that way because I want to know you in that way. And I hope that that becomes a catalyst for you sharing a little bit more of yourself with the collective, with the people that you desire to share with. Because I guarantee when you open up a little bit more, someone else is going to feel more seen. And they're going to be like, wow, I'm not the only one that's moving through this. Wow, I'm not the only one that questions this. To feel less alone in these moments could literally save someone's life. So that is my prayer with this diary. So we've got one more week and then this diary is slamming closed. So I would love to have you in that space. Drop down into the show notes. The link will be down there. And I cannot wait to dig into next week. But until then, I hope that this reminds you that you are so powerful, that you are powerful beyond measure. And that doesn't mean I have it all figured out. It's the exact opposite. It is I'm choosing to be brave even when I don't have it all figured out. I'm choosing to get up and brush myself off even when and especially after I fall. Because that is how we forge the path. That is how we get to the destination that we desire. And that is undoubtedly how we support the people that are going to be walking that same terrain. So, with that, I'm sending you so much light and love. And until next time, mwah.